Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q4 FY21 earnings conference call of Ratnamani Metals and Tubes Limited, hosted by Monarch Networth Capital. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on a touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sahil Sanghvi from Monarch Networth Capital. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Rutuja. Good evening to all. On behalf of Monarch Networth, we welcome you all to the Ratnamani Q4 FY 2021 earnings call. We are glad to host the management of Ratnamani today, and from their side we have their MD, Mr. Prakash Sanghvi sir, and their CFO, Mr. Vimal Katta sir. So without taking much time, I'll hand over the call to Prakash sir for the opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening to all. Of course, you might have results on hand quarterly as well as yearly 2021, but I can read the figure for the entire year. This is 2,341.5 crores and net profit 278.3 crores. During the year, we have completed, of course, with the challenging time, COVID-19 pandemic, but our team, I really congratulate to my team. They even the difficult time, they performed really good compared to our expectation. We have completed both the capex plan in stainless steel division as well as carbon steel LSAW. Approximately it's about 290 crores we have capitalized in the year for stainless steel hot extrusion press, that is 30,000 ton capacity, and in carbon steel about 190 crores, about 150,000 ton line pipe capacity. And in between we did this carbon steel ERW pipe, we have increased the capacity, putting new finishing lines to about 50,000 ton capacity increase. So these are the three new investment what we did in the year. And now we are running successfully production also. Of course, in carbon steel some trial production is going on, and in extrusion also we did a good number of extrusion, but still some more trials we have to do, and number of approval we have to take for the new plant. So hopefully this year we will get from both the division additional turnover, one. And then the order on hand, that is on 1st of May, about 1498 crores total. And things are, of course, in first quarter of the new year also not good because of the pandemic, the second wave was there. And now things are improving slowly, gradually, and numbers of cases are coming down. And we hope things will improve much more, and we will start. Of course, we have booked the day before yesterday also one single order of 82 crores. So like that, things are improving here. And of course, you might have seen the improving the oil price also. About now it is $70. So this all hold projects are getting back, and they are renegotiating because the raw material price has gone up. So we had asking a new prices because some of the order last year they make a hold on the order. So the last year raw material price was different, and this year the price was different. So we are asking some price increase, and that is negotiation is going on some of the big order of stainless steel. So we hope now with this new oil price, and there is a good demand is coming from US, Europe, and this whole Middle East. So we are quite hopeful on the demand side for oil and gas, for in the country, pharma, API, chemical, even in oil and gas also. We think things will improve in next quarter definitely. And one more new thing had happened, that is China had withdrawn their export benefit about 10 to 13% on different products. So that is an opportunity for the India to export more in the European country, in the US country or the Middle East. And what we heard, they are thinking, China, they are thinking on putting export tax. They would like to use more for domestic. This is what we heard. So then again, we see a good opportunity for the Indian manufacturer because 13% what they have taken back, withdrawn, and 10% they are putting new export tax. That becomes 23% is a big amount. And if we will improve slightly our margin, it will be definitely help, or we get good booking. That is what we see. And I think in country also, things will improve. Of course, raw material is little concern over here because the prices had gone up in both stainless steel as well as carbon steel. But still, if they want, they have to consider because it's an international price. It's not only in India it had gone up. It is internationally gone the price for raw material. And hopefully, wherever it's somewhere possible, we will also do needful in the price with the old order what with us. Something they have to compromise, something we have to compromise. So what our idea is to have more and more order booking with us because the new facilities are there. So there also we are looking some new order from abroad start with. So this is what it is. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Ashutosh Tiwari from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Prakash Bhai, Vimal sir. Congrats on good numbers.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening,
How are
sir.
you? All fine?
Sir, how are you? All fine, sir.
Yeah,
How
fine,
are you?
fine. Fine. Everything is okay over here.
Good, sir. Sir, first question is that you talked about this 13% export rebate in China, which is withdrawn. So, was it there on the SS5 as well?
Yeah, it was. It was all stainless steel items, whether it's a pipe, tube, sheet, plate, coil.
Okay, so now that is, if it is withdrawn, in that case, basically, in India as well as the overseas market, both will get a benefit.
Yes. No, our competitiveness will increase, what I mean to say, in international market.
Yeah, because I think there are some 2 or 3 big players in SS seamless as well from the China.
And they are talking further 10%, they would like to put export tax. Means they want to use domestically maximum their product, especially in steel and stainless steel. You know, there is good export taking place from India to China, this carbon steel, called HR coil.
Okay. Yeah, that we know, yeah. So even if that 10%, I don't know whether that comes when it comes, but even if without
So
that,
it is under talk. It is under talk only.
Okay, but with this 13% rebate itself going off with, from them, export rebate, in that case also, I think for us, opportunity in, I think even in the distributor side that we are initially targeting, there also will get a benefit, right?
Everywhere, because the cost will increase definitely 13% to everyone, whether it is a US, whether it is a Middle East or Europe, or even India. Suppose some people are importing from China, so there also they will get affected. And there is another one more thing had happened. We put the BIS quality control audit. So any manufacturer outside the country, they have to have a BIS registration, and our product comes under that. All the services in the site.
And when did this thing happen? Basically, when did this particular thing, BIS related thing happen?
It is already there. So the imports are getting less and less drastically. Earlier, imports were coming in a lot from China. But now you can say last quarter of the year, it has reduced like anything. And we are...
from Q4 you're saying? From January this year, 21?
Yeah, and we have an association for seamless type industry, and we are quite monitoring also, and time to time inform to the ministry also, to the custom senior officers also, because some nullified, some jugglery they do and get it import, so we notice them that this is what coming. So just see.
And on these products which come China, like say this stainless steel tubes and all, there is some custom duty as well in India, right? On that already.
There is a custom duty. Yes. 10%.
That means that if the prices go by 13% over that, there will be custom duty also. So I think net 15% kind of increase.
That means it will be 15%. Yeah, you're right.
That is substantial benefit for us basically. So that is one good thing. Okay. Secondly, so last time we had mentioned that some of the customers basically were delaying this tender finalization because steel prices had gone up sharply, and they're probably waiting for it to fall, but there's no fall per se. So are you seeing that those customers or the contractors and all are now started placing orders? They are still differing?
Yeah. You can, even with our company only, we got after that a big order of one single
500 crores.
600 crores something. 592 crores. And another one, yesterday only we got 82 crores. So now they are taking decision. Of course, they started. Because somewhere they did half the work. They have to decide. There is no way to go. Of course, somewhere where the project time is 36 months or something like that, 24 months, there they still want to wait for 3-4 months, 6 months, whether something will go down or something like that. Or whatever they required, say 20% of the required material they will buy right now, then further 80% they will buy. Because everybody wants to, otherwise they are losing somewhere.
Okay. And sir, lastly on this SS seamless side, now that the plant is ready in commission, you said that there's still some trials are going on this extrusion part of it. So in this year, what kind of extra volume do you expect from this new plant in 22, sorry?
Yeah, 150 crore to 200 crore.
Sorry?
Because say 150 crore to 200 crore extra turnover.
In SS basically, okay. And so does the client basically the customers have to come and do the approval and all, or some of that already started?
Not everywhere. Somewhere it required to come, somewhere, because it's customer to customer, their different policies are there. Say people like PIL, we are already doing, earlier we were importing and doing cold ring and giving, so our registration, our approval is there. But we want to show them that this is a state of art technology, so more preference we will get for delivery point of view, for quality point of view, that we want to show. Rather, we would like to have a get-together for our all VIP customers to show them this is the art of. But because of this pandemic, we will wait and we'll see in November, December, if everything is okay, we'll have some good gathering.
And so lastly, if I may, we have seen very good ramp up in the carbon steel order book, okay, but SS order book, obviously it has remained stable. But are we seeing a trend, like say that even in the order booking in that area will also go up for next maybe 4 to 6 months because of some project that we have in pipeline?
Yeah, definitely. We see, right now the problem is number of quotes we have given, but the financing is taking time. But if this COVID part is okay, then things will improve more. Because last 2 months people were working from home and there are some expenses there, so people have not taken this. But all small order we are regularly getting, and that much dispatch also took place. So anytime 300 to 400 crore orders in stainless steel is there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, sir. All the best. Thanks a lot.
So, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kunal Shah from Carnelian Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
So basically, I missed out, you did mention in the opening remark, what is the total capacity that is going to be, since you have commissioned few parts, total capacity in both the segments, if you could reiterate, please?
Can we tell you or see about the additional capacity what we increase in carbon steel, say 1 lakh.
Sorry, sir?
1,50,000 ton in carbon steel line pipe, we have added the capacity in carbon steel side, okay? And
Okay.
in stainless steel side, we have increased about 30,000 ton stainless steel seamless pipe capacity. And in carbon steel ERW, we have further increased 50,000 ton from the existing capacity. So all put together in carbon steel, say about it is 5,50,000 ton, all put together, all ERW, helical saw, LSAW, circle central saw, all put together. And like that, in stainless steel, we have added this new capacity of 30,000 ton.
Okay. And sir, the second question is, what do we intend? I mean, how do we plan to use the net cash that we have on our balance sheet? And also the second question was that we took a board approval for 500 crore debenture raise. So if it is a normal resolution, or how should we look at these two things, sir?
See, I will answer. Prakash Bhai may not be. See, basically, this NCD resolution is enabling resolution because as per the existing SEBI guideline, any incremental borrowing for large large entities, per force we are required to approach the bond market. So it is an enabling resolution in case company requires to go for any fresh borrowing for to fund its growth. So then we need not wait for the general meeting approval. Okay. So it is an enabling resolution. There are no plans right now, immediate plans to raise any fund. Okay.
Okay.
And about the cash which company is having, as the business grows, working capital requirements will keep on increasing because company continues to follow the practice of booking the raw material on back-to-back basis. So some portion of it will go towards funding the increased working capital requirement, and remaining will be there with the company to take advantage of any opportunity which may be there. Because see, this year we are targeting 3,000 crores plus of top line. So anyway, working capital requirements are bound to go up. And if everything goes according to our expectations, then perhaps we should be ready with our next phase of growth in next 2 years' time. So we need to start working on that also in current financial year because it takes time before a capacity can be available. So those things will require certain cash outgo. So these funds will be used. And anyway, something will always be there as a buffer.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Siddharth from Phillip Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hi, sir. Vikas this side from Phillip Capital. Hi. Congratulations on good set of numbers. Sir, my first question pertains to the visibility of order books. Like you said in your initial remark that now people have started to award the order. So in next 6 to 7 months, or for that matter 1 year, what kind of order bid book pipelines or the order bookings you are expecting to come in your way in SS as well as CS segment?
See, we have put new capacity as well as with the existing. We are quite hopeful we will definitely book from both new capacity also as well as existing capacity. Because of one more good reason, there is two good reasons. One is oil price is going up. So now it is a $72. So with this, everybody is in oil and gas, they are started the investment like Qatar. Then recently we got some order from Kuwait also. So like that, Saudi Aramco have a huge investment. ADNOC, Abu Dhabi, they have also huge investment plan. And we have somewhere we have quoted also. But it takes little more time because of this COVID situation. But now things are improving in this COVID also. So hopefully, if everything goes well, then we might have anytime 15 to 2,000 crore order booking anytime.
Okay, sir. Okay. And sir, one more question regarding this order booking. So what we have seen in that we usually do the bidding, and nowadays you all have to wait for a longer period of time before the order has been awarded. In between, the steel prices have been rising pretty sharply. So are we bidding with a clause where before awarding any increase in steel prices should be covered, or on an anticipation we are doing some back-to-back booking in order to protect our margin? If you could explain that part of it.
Yeah. No, mostly it is all the reverse auction. Okay. So first you have to quote a particular price. So we definitely see and quote little more higher. And then because the reverse auction took place after a month or two or something like that. So we always take some buffer and then we go down from the offer. Okay. So while reverse auction will take care of the correct raw material price and visibility on raw material, and based on that we will make it down and we become L1. So once we become L1, then we will be sure we will going to get the order. So we will book a back-to-back order, raw material. So more or less we are not getting any hit. Sometime of course you are late by 10-15 days, and in between the price has gone up, then that piece you take and heat. That's all. But sometimes you are gaining also. It is always equal.
So if I understand it correctly, then most of our order booking or the bid books would have kind of the margins have already been locked in, and this sharp increase in steel prices might not have any meaningful impact on our profitability going forward. Is that a correct assumption?
Yeah, it is a correct assumption. Yeah.
Understood, sir. And sir, just one last question, if I may put in. In terms of our, basically in terms of our approvals, so by when we think that we would be able to manage all the approvals for both SS as well as LSAW mills, and then could be, full potential could be unleashed from both of these capex? So any timeline if you have in mind?
Yeah. As such, we have already started production and we have some order book also. Somewhere it is needed because we were doing steel earlier also till 18, but that time we were importing the mother roller and doing the finishing. Now we have to have our own mother roller and doing here. So more or less it is there, but it is a state-of-art facility. We would like to call our domestic customers and show them we will give a quick delivery, will the quality, be that latest equipment, latest testing equipment. So we would like to impress them and getting more preference on us. That's what we are going to do. And somewhere, of course, it is a new line. It is required to be audited by them. That we are doing just after this COVID is over, second wave, and once people is starting traveling, we definitely call them. But seated over here, we already did with EIL for this LSAW, the approval of line type.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, when, like you said, that Chinese material are now becoming expensive, so is it possible that for us also the reaching to export market is now a more feasible option, and at least unless we get an approval for these products, we can sell the general merchandise in the export market? and
Yes,
utilize our mill to full extent?
Yes, you are right that we are going to start now, but for that we have to travel actually for first time, because so far the country is importing from China. Of course, we have exported in past 1 or 2 consignment to China also, but now there is good chance because 13% what they have reduced, and then 10% they are going to put an export tax. So if their domestic market is also high, we may get some chances, but it is all we have to inquire and have a feel of the market and try 1 or 2 orders, something like that.
Okay, so is that opportunity would only come if China imposes another 10% of export duty, or it is already there?
So it is already there for some good niche products. The ordinary products, they might be having good capacity, but some niche products still they are importing from Japan, Korea, still they are importing. So there we may get a chance. And in past also we did like that.
Understood, sir. Understood. Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering my question, and all the best for future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Somkanti S, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you. No, I'm from Monarch Network Capital Limited, Calcutta. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the session. And sir, you nicely said the present import-export ratio between India and China. But is there any chance this after this crisis we overcome, maybe after 6 months or 1 year, and the import-export ratio will change? And if it is changed, then how it will impact the business?
It depends because cost of raw material for everyone it is same, whether it is China, whether it is Japan or India. So 65% is the cost of the raw material. So remaining they all depend on how you manage your business with the processing, the labor charges, electricity and others. So more or less they have withdrawn the tax right now only. But we were doing good export from here to all right from Japan, Korea, Middle East, Europe, USA. So we are competing with them. It's not that. But here now our percentage will increase, our export will increase. Because there is a good demand. Of course, in our country still it will come. But demand is coming more from this USA, Europe, as well as the Middle East part. Quite big quantity we have quoted right now, but of course we knew it will take 2 to 3 months time, 4 months time to materialize in order. Because oil price is also supporting over here nowadays. Earlier the oil price was say $30 to $40, something like that, and now this year it is 65 to 75. So the things are improving in their areas also.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pritesh Chheda from Lucky Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Sir, just a broader question. We could understand your capacity expansion in stainless steel, which is a lot import substitute. But when it came to carbon steel expansion, what exactly did you see in terms of evolving demand scenario? Because this industry has largely been flat for the last 6-7 years. So we have been in a certain volume range. Our competitor has been in a certain volume range. Global markets have been in a certain volume range. So what exactly are you seeing incrementally for you to be investing and expanding carbon steel? And my second question within that is, what would be so far the business size globally for carbon steel, if you could comment in million tons? And when you're mentioning China rebate and benefiting other countries, so what is the extent of export that China used to do?
See, first question is, first of all, there is a good domestic visibility what we are seeing in a line pipe. Because the country has see lot this oil and gas transmission by the trucks and lorries. Also huge number of pipelines, the GAIL, IOCL, they have already planned. But because of this last year whole time had gone in this COVID, and still people are not sure about this third wave or something like that. So it is the problem of this last 1.5 years, you can say. But things will improve definitely, and there is a huge requirement in the country. One is the city gas division. Those orders have been given to this all domestic EPC contractor, and they have to buy a pipe. And even in ERW, we have booked up to October, November, up to December, right? So there is a good visibility in domestic market, and Carmichael is more or less for the domestic market. This is LNG line is coming, number of LNG lines, because we are going to import about 70% of LNG country's requirement from the different countries. So we definitely, and we have replaced this. Our old capacity was about 40,000 tons of LSAW. That is a very old plant of 94, 95. So it is, we would like to add some more. Once we are putting new capacity, we have to add with the today's size and grade and thickness or requirement. So it is a new capacity instead of that 40,000 tons, 150,000 tons with additional of line pipe. Earlier we were not doing a line pipe, and some people specifically asking for a longitudinal thermal arc welded pipe. So that is the reason we have added. And in ERW we see a lot of visibility up to next 5 to 8 years because of this city gas distribution. And we are quite busy in that running with 110% capacity. So there we put one more finishing line. That's why new where to put new capacity or where not. So it is a very reasonable capacity in a 4 category of welded pipe. Not there is one single. It is a helical flow, it is a ERW, circumferential, longitudinal, all such things are there. Your second question, of course, China. Definitely, China's focus is in their domestic market.
How much they must be exporting, sir? And what would be the global market size for the carbon steel pipes? Is it 10 million ton or more?
It is too big a market. People have one company have a 4 million, 5 million ton capacity in Europe. Even in country also 2 million ton capacity. So it is a huge market. It is not come up with a 10 million ton or something like that. But just carbon steel welded pipe I'm talking. So a huge market and number of countries are required. We have given one product from here to Ethiopia. We have given an EPC in Middle East, and they are laying the pipe over there. So entire Africa is pending. So number of ours is a very limited capacity in all 4-5 manufacturers in the country. In a carbon steel, it is about 550,000 ton total capacity of 4 category of welded pipe.
550?
50,000 ton, yeah. 550,000 ton in all 4 categories. ERW, helical flow, LSAW, circumferential.
Sir, 700 to 800,000 is done by the largest guy in terms of volumes. You do about 2 to 2.5 lakhs. So 1 million to, sir, 1 million to is between you and him.
Prakash has been talking about the capacity of Ratnamani only. See, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. As far as exports by China, the data which is available till around 2019-20 will be in the range of 50 to 60 million tons per year of export. But in 20, they have roughly between 50 to 60 million tons per year of export.
So that is the full steel export, right?
So full entire range.
Yeah. Within that, our would.
Yes, please.
That is our full steel export. What would be pipe export in that?
That figure will not be available.
Okay, no problem, sir. No problem. My second question is, sir, on the stainless steel utilization side, and so we've added this 30,000. when do you think you would be using this capacity fully, and what should be the volumes for the next 2 years, that is 22 and 23?
See, the first year, 22, you can say we will definitely go up to 3,000 to 4,000 tons because it's our first year. There are a lot of approval, a lot of internal trial, number of sizes, grades. But next year onwards, we'll definitely go with the 30%, 40%, and 50%. In pipe, we can say 30,000 tons. It is more depend on the diameter and thickness what we are producing. Okay, sometimes it may 20,000 tons, sometimes it may 35,000 tons also. But it is always average what we are talking.
Okay. And sir, in CX, you never mentioned about what's happening in the water side, because all the past calls, if I remember, were more we were seeing opportunities in water. So, what's happening there?
See, water is totally not moving because all state government is busy in the maintain the COVID as best possible from their end to save the life and this and that. The facility was not there. So their entire focus on COVID since last year. So far no much project came, but the things will improve. The project will definitely come. Still, the Prime Minister Jalti Mal Yojana is totally pending. It is just announcement, but nothing had happened in that one. So once things will improve, a normal situation of the country from the COVID, definitely the more good number of requirements from all the states will going to get.
Okay. So lastly, sum total, you see the carbon steel industry, sum total volumes, and for us also moving significantly higher over the next 3 years versus the last 5-6 years where it was absolutely flat in terms of volumes for us and the industry as a whole.
See, really with this hike in the steel and other things, all the metal you can say, but still from where the demand is coming from, USA is very high. Europe, Middle East. See, after 1 year, things, because everybody is hunger, what we feel, the way we are quoting right now the inquiries. So things will definitely improve over there. Of course, in our country also, once this second wave is over and everything is okay, things will improve here also in the country. Lot of things we need to do in the country.
How much is the bid interest higher than what it was a year back? If you were quoting for one project or two projects or 5 projects or let's say 100,000 tons, how much bids are you putting now for? 3x, 2x projects, 3x?
We are putting right now 2 to 2.5x right now from the existing.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are more possibilities of getting materialized also.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much and all the best to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor and Company. Please go ahead.
धन्यवाद सर. नमस्ते सर. Sir, firstly, sir, how is this steep increase in steel prices going to affect the dynamics for the steel pipe industry? So the way the prices have moved up and international prices being still higher than what the domestic prices are, and the steel manufacturers have taken another round of hike from the beginning of this month. How is this rise going to dampen the since it is going to increase the cost of project for everybody? What could be its negative impact on the demand side, sir?
This is what you have seen last 1 year. It is a low order booking, you can say, because people are not taking this decision. People have the order. All these EPC might have a good order, but they are not able to finalize because first 6 months they took in engineering, and then they are going for procurement in some of the things. So by that time the price had gone up. So slowly, gradually, whatever emergency requirement, that's what they are deciding. Yes, they are keeping spending, hoping the price will go down or something like that, or they see some alternate. But ultimately, they have to complete the project. It is not. It is somewhere. It is 25% work had done. Somewhere it is 30%. So they are waiting, and we don't think there is any chance of decreasing in next 2 to 3 months or 4 months, because it is a net. China was the exporter once upon a time. Today is the importer. Even our country, India, is exporting a huge amount quantity of HR coil to them. Like that, demand in US increased like anything what people are talking over there. So, but we are not at any order, anything we are quoting on the back-to-back basis. Anything, and our validity for private parties is very less, for 7 days or 10 days or something like that. If anything goes increase, we also send them increased price or something like that. So we also making safe ourselves while quoting, and our people of marketing, they will completely work on international as well as domestic price of steel and stainless steel.
Right, sir. And sir, how has this duty reversion that happened in the last budget for the stainless steel helped people like us, sir?
It is 2.5%. From 10% it had gone to 7.5%. That's all. Not much. But of course, we are not importing much anything. We are all buying from domestic. Some of the special grades and size that we need to import. Otherwise, when buying from Jindal Stainless, this side Mukund, Virat, all such people are there.
Right. And sir, what will be the incremental depreciation going forward for the next financial year, since a large portion of the capex is through? What would be the impact, Bimal Sarji?
I think roughly 30 crores.
30 crore annually.
Yeah.
Right, sir. And sir, now coming to this refinery part of the story, sir, as the Sarji has already informed that lot talk has been done, but on the ground things have not changed at all. Have not been to that extent, sir. What is the ground feeling for the refinery capex that can happen going forward? What is the talk or the bid pipeline looking like, sir?
See, number of expansion are there planned, but in between this, because of COVID, they have hold. But now, because one reason more, the oil price has gone up about $70 or so. So they will restart. Only in our country, the problem was with the second wave. You can say Maharashtra, UP, Delhi, all Karnataka, Gujarat. So things are, because of that, all things are slow, expensive, you can say. But now, things are improving in COVID side also. So things will improve, and this already Barmer refinery is going on. We are dispatching regularly. There's no problem. And lot many other will also come up. Even Naira, that is old SR oil, they are also having a good expansion plan. But because of this already they are old. But now things will come definitely.
Right.
And in export side also, there's a huge investment from Saudi Aramco, Qatar, IOCL, and ADNOC. This is what we are hearing. We got the requirement also. Somewhere we have quoted also.
And out of the total revenue for this year, and if for the order book breakup also, what portion will be contributed to the export market?
About 20 to 22%.
Last year was good, even better than what we did in 1920. Roughly 560 crores out of exports were there. So
didn't get you, sir.
Between 20 to 25% of turnover has usually been coming from exports. Going forward, also we like to see this ratio is maintained or rather increased.
Right. Is there any investment we are going for the renewable energy segment, sir? Either in the solar part?
Yeah, solar, the policy is not clear from our Gujarat government. Otherwise, we are having plan of 50 crores because our power cost is too high. So we would like to reduce, but the policy is still not clear. Once it becomes clear, we definitely go for investment of 50 to 60 crores.
Right. And lastly, sir, on the city gas distribution part, sir, as per the outlay from the government side, the districts which are going to be covered, how much is the total demand of ERW pipes, and how much have been bid as of now, sir? Since they have increased the number of districts also, what is the outlook there, sir?
So there we feel rather good visibility in ERW, especially city gas and that's the reason we have increased the capacity over there, putting one finishing line. Mill capacity was there. So it is keep coming, all these EPC contractors are bidding to them, and they are getting, and they are buying from us. And it is good requirement what we see. And we see this will go on if the country is totally gas network in next 10 years. Then it will, our business will also go with them in next 7 to 8 years continuously. And this we see since last 3 years.
Right. And what is the top line that you told? I missed the part for FY22. We can expect for this year.
More than 3,000 crores.
Thank you for all the answers, and sir, thank you to the board for the incremental dividend also for this year, sir. And all the best, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Susmit Patodia from Motilal Oswal. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, sir. Nice to hear from you. Hope everything is fine at your end.
Yeah, it is fine. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Sir, first question is, you said you do back-to-back contracts for commodities. Now, in a rising commodity, customers will not complain. But what happens when, let's say, steel prices, the way they have gone up, they can also come down. What will happen then? Will they ask for a repricing down? In your experience, what happens?
So far not. It is because all back-to-back and it is some price from our end and they have to lift also and we have to deliver also. But wherever our validity is over, there we say them that because raw material price has gone up and our revised price is this. And they have to agree. There, of course, some negotiation with margin also because ultimately we keep customer happy finally. So that is regular practice, you can say.
Okay. And sir, now that you have commissioned the SS line, how is the margin that is coming through, or how is the top line velocity that is coming through from the line? Is it to your satisfaction or is it better than your satisfaction? We just wanted to understand that.
New CapEx, what we did, it is really a state-of-art facility what we have put. And
correct.
Now, of course, we have already started production also. Of course, starting some teaching problem might be there, but it is all the machinery from Europe. So it is really a new state-of-art facility for stainless steel seamless pipe, and that we are the size-wise, grade-wise, we are the largest in the country for such a stainless steel seamless pipe and tube. And once anybody see the facility, definitely he impressed, and without anything, only of course price matter, otherwise we will get always the preference for any requirement.
Right. So the gross margins for this plant being state of the art, this could be higher than 35%, which is, let's say, our average.
Here the capacity in two parts. Something will do more value addition in ours, that is cold finishing. And something will go as it is hot finish, what we were importing in a past time. So it is a mix of the product. You can say 60% you are going to do hot finish pipe as it is, one operation. The 40% pipe you are going to do with cold finishing, more value added. So it is more or less same, you can say. Some you are getting less, some you are getting more. So the margin remains EBITDA level same. Or somewhere we get a niche product, somewhere higher also. So somewhere it is a standard product lower. So ultimately average it is the same.
Got it. And so two more questions. One is, as you plan for your next leg of capex, focus will be on new product or a different location? What will be your preference?
Of course, location, definitely you are right, because at CPO, one location you cannot cover entire country because this become a volume item. So, of course, we are thinking even last year also before COVID, but after that COVID we have stopped. We have seen some land also. But, of course, there is a plan, but once this is over, this pandemic, then we will relook everything. In a carbon steel as well as stainless steel also, we are exploring possibility in the international market also in a small way.
And the last question is, did you have MEIS income in FY20? And
yeah, we have certain income because whatever license we got in starting first or second quarter, and after that government had have a notification, and with that we also effected because we have booked the order based on that calculation. But all of a sudden they have a notification and they stopped giving, and they given some figure up to 2 crore you are going to get, and our order booking in a large value. So we have gone to the court, High Court, saying that still that notification, whatever order we have booked, there you have to permit us to take the benefit. So the court is also not working very frequently. So it is under court, you can say, and we hopefully, and everybody had gone to the court because it is a quite substantial amount, about 10 to 12 crore rupees.
so, sir, if you can tell me what was the MEIS income in FY20 and how much you booked in your books in FY21?
The FY20 was roughly 12.9 crores. Okay. And 21 has been 3.8 crores.
3.8 crores.
We have booked.
Yes.
Book. So you have not booked that 10, 11 crores under litigation?
No, we cannot now.
It is a court matter now. Something we can apply as an application we have to do, but they have closed the window. So of course something will definitely get once they will open the window.
Got it.
Right now we cannot apply also, even though you are within the day.
Right. Yeah. And last one housekeeping question, sir. What is the net cash position now in March? Is it around 450 crores? Is that right?
See, net any given day will be in the range of 400 to 500 crore rupees. This keeps on fluctuating based on how the inventory procurement happens. So right now on net basis it is more than 4 crores.
Correct. Okay. Great, sir. Thank you and all the best, and best of luck for your plant reaching maximum utilization, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Devang Sanghi from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening, sir, and congrats on a good set of numbers. My first question is regarding the API segment. There is a notable capex in the API segment which is planned and going on. So how is the ordering from that side of the business, from API?
API, the orders all in carbon steel mostly from API side only.
API pharmaceutical.
Pharma? Okay.
Yes, the pharma side of it.
Yeah. So there we just keep going material of stainless steel side, all stainless steel piping, tubing, that keep going. And yes, good business we are getting from this pharma side, API side.
And are the margin better in the API pharma side, or is it like similar to our current margin?
No, it is a reasonable margin, you can say. Yes, because they need good quantity at a very short delivery, so it is a good margin.
Right, sir. My second question is regarding the Q4 margins. We reported a very strong operating margins. So do we maintain the same guidance of 16 to 18%, or there is a scope of upward revision out there?
It is all depend because it is a margin came from the niche product, and suppose in some quarters we are doing more dispatches of niche product, so automatic margin increase. So ultimately it is in the range of 16 to 18%. But sometimes you may get because we are adding more and more niche products. So might be 1% here and there in a totality.
Right, sir. And my question is regarding the SS order book. What, on a ballpark basis, what kind of aggregate fresh order we are targeting for the current year?
Pardon me?
My next question is the SS order book size.
Yeah.
On a ballpark basis, what kind of aggregate fresh order booking we are targeting for the current year? Additional orders, what we expect?
About our order booking target is about, say, 1,002. Yeah, 1,200 to 1,300 crores.
1,200, 1,300 crores. Right, sir. And our top line guidance for FY22 is 3,000 plus crores, if I get it right.
More than 1,000, yes.
Right. Okay, sir. And what is the maintenance capex, sir, for the business?
Anything between 20 to 50 crores.
See, right now 76 crore is, they already work in progress. It is there. And additional maintenance capex might be 40 to 50 crores. Yeah.
40 to 50 crores.
Estimate.
Right. No worries. Thank you, sir, and all the best for future performance.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bhavin Chheda from Enam Holdings. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Yeah, good evening. How are you? Fine, thank you.
Yeah. Congrats on overall good set of performance and exciting growth story. So, few questions. If I see you got big order of 800 crores and that too in carbon steel during the quarter, where already the steel prices were at very high level. So then what's the sense that if you got such large orders when the higher steel prices were there, then are we concerned that the further hikes, obviously quarter one has seen further sharp hike, the momentum of new order flow would slow down? Or this was expected that quarter one the steel prices were on uptrend, so few oil majors smartly placed orders before the impending steel price hike?
No, it was long pending, and of course as we become L1, we have tied up more than 50-60% material in anticipating that we are going to get the order because we become L1, and balance also once we get the order we had finalized. So there is not much hit on price increase of steel, and now we definitely watch every you can say weekly basis. So what are the steel price and what to quote and how to keep margin for negotiation, or we have to give a revised price to them because it is a very volatile. You can say one side in the upper side only.
Right. And quarter four saw a very big jump in EBITDA margin. So that was purely you may be holding some low cost inventory and that resulted in the benefit going in?
There is no inventory benefit because always all the material is under for order booking only. But of course some good order with the margin we have booked, some niche product that we have booked. So because of that and dispatches took place, good dispatches took place. So it will happen.
Okay. So you said you're looking for close to 3,000 crore turnover next year. So what kind of EBITDA margins are you predicting there? Are you already 1,800 crores orders are in hand? So what's the outlook on the margins front going ahead?
Average for the entire product will be 16 to 18%, plus minus 10% always.
16 to 18%. Okay. And what's the export order book in that 1,800 crores?
Yeah, our order booking is 1,498 crore. Say about 1,500.
Sorry, 1,500. 1,500. How much is export in that?
Yeah, also together. Yeah, right now it is 141 crore.
141. Okay. And I missed out on the point on the export business. Were you eligible for export incentives, and is the road tap rates have not been announced? So are you been hit on that? And have you provided, not provided for the same?
See, in the book we have not provided for any export income where because of government policies we have not been in a position to progress further. So that is the thing. Whatever was available, that has been booked. So roughly export incentives to the extent of roughly 8 crores will be there in the book for the entire year. Thereafter, this window has been closed, so one cannot even apply. That is the situation.
Okay. And what would be the capex of FY 22 and 23 probably?
The total, we should expect roughly 125 crores of addition to fixed assets, which will include 76 crores of CWIP, which is lying there, and anything between 40 to 50 crores of normal capex plus maintenance capex.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants who wishes to ask a question may press star and one now. The next question is from the line of Aniruddha Shetty from Solidarity Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
I actually wanted the breakup of our capacity in FY21. You mentioned you will have 5.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but your voice is not audible. Can you speak a little louder?
Better now?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, so I actually wanted the breakup of our capacity that we have today. Within carbon steel we have 4 segments, and within stainless steel we have 2. So can you just give the segment, sub-segment wise breakup of capacity?
If you don't mind, can you share your email ID? I'll just mail it to you because it will take some time for you to note it down. Yeah.
Okay. I have your email ID, so I'll email it across.
Okay. Just send me the email. I'll share the details with you. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. And so the second question is on the export business. We have good visibility in, like you mentioned, US and Europe and all. Typically, is our export business a higher margin business compared to domestic?
It depends. Sometimes some special grade, some special niche product, definitely. Otherwise, it's just both the prices are equal, 1%, 2% here and there, but different. Otherwise, it's a more or less same price.
Okay. Right. And just one final question in terms of our capex plans. Whenever we look to set up new capacities, that just to confirm my understanding, that we'll be looking to set up plants in India itself, right? We're not looking to go overseas and set up facilities.
We are not going correctly.
Okay. Yeah, that's it for me.
Pardon me.
Can you repeat, please?
No, sorry. No, I just wanted to confirm whatever future capex plans we might incur. So will that be for setting up manufacturing facilities in India itself, or we're also open to setting up facilities outside of India? That's my question.
Stainless steel, we are open to explore the opportunities overseas also. And for carbon steel, we are open for anywhere in the country where opportunities are going to be there, just to save on the transportation cost.
Okay. And what would the benefit be of setting up a capacity outside of India? Like, what would the logic be for that?
See, there are in certain countries where price benefits, the price preference is there. Suppose you go really somewhere, you are getting if you have become a local, then you get a price preference. This is the major thing. And you get a continuous business commitment, something like that. Then only it is useful.
Okay. That's it for my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nirnosh Pantaki from Dhanki Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. I had some 3-4 questions. One is on the margin side, as you stated that there was some execution of niche product during the quarter, as a result of which they were substantially higher during this quarter. But if I analyze your financials, so the overall share of stainless steel pipes revenue share has declined in this quarter, and carbon steel pipe share has improved. So within carbon steel pipes, should I assume that there was some execution of more project piping orders rather than helical saw pipes, which command lower margin?
No, more on, you can say ERW with coating line pipe with the coating means sometimes internal coating also, external coating. So you are getting at three different margins. Once you make a bare pipe, then there is a coating, then there is internal coating. It's like that. So what type of order has gone with the coating also? So then it becomes a reflect. Sometimes it is only a bare pipe. Then the coating is not there. Sometimes it is we do induction bending also. So it depends the various type of order and what order you have executed during the quarter. It depends that. Of course, that the volume goes more from the carbon steel side. So sometimes that volume is also good because the turnover is about say 680 crores, something like that. So.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that the margin improvement was more because of more coated pipes execution.
More value added. Product.
Yeah. So in one item you have 3 times value addition or 2 times value addition, something like that.
Okay.
If you are
And as far
selling
as
yeah.
Okay, sir. So as far as your existing order book is concerned, they are also largely for the value added and coated pipes only in carbon steel?
So, yeah, right now it is there.
Okay. So is there a possibility that we shift our margin trajectory higher from the 16 to 18%, or you are still being conservative and...
Not conservative. We are trying to be practical. So 16 to 18% range is such which should hold good over a longer period, not understanding whatever happens in the market. So that is the thing. So for all practical purposes, this range should be holding good.
Okay, sir. And as far as your new plants are concerned, you stated that commercial production has commenced from Q1 in both the plants. So I just wanted to ask, in stainless steel, you had stated in earlier con calls that there were some traveling restrictions, as a result of which the final approvals from the inspected auditors was being delayed, and that was the reason why the plant has not commenced. So that all has been over now, or?
See, in some of the cases, not in all the cases. So right now we will charge it wherever it goes without approval also in a distribution market. Somewhere we are already there. Domestically we are already there up to that. So it is not needed. But internationally, some of the companies, they would like to visit, approve and start giving some salaries like that. So it is a mix of that. So more or less we were doing earlier also, but earlier we were importing such pipes and doing the value addition over here. Now we have our own mother facility.
Okay. So, sir, roughly, if you can give us some estimates of what kind of utilization your new plants will operate, both SS and CS, in this FY22? So can we expect this 20-30% of utilization which you stated earlier?
Yeah, 15 to 20%, of course.
SS should be closer to anything between 15 to 20%. Okay. And carbon steel can be higher based on opportunities. And given its size, I think it should be closer to 30 to 40% also.
30 to 40% for what, sir? For FY23?
Carbon steel LSW.
Okay, for FY22 you are saying?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, 30 to 40% for carbon steel and 15 to 20% for stainless steel. Okay, so sir, this 15 to 20% for stainless steel at this low utilization, will you be able to break even on EBITDA level?
See, that plant right now does not have much fixed cost, incremental fixed cost, because manpower and other things are at similar level same. Okay, only depreciation and interest portions are there mainly. So not much of any issue, even at 20% also.
Okay, sir. One last question from my side. Are we L1 in any of the orders currently, or we expect some orders? Can you in the next, say, 3 to 4 months, can you just elaborate more on that?
There are number of quotations and bid what we have bidded, and still things has to go. They have to open, they have a reverse auction or something. Huge number of inquiries we are quoting every day.
Okay.
So visibilities are there.
Sir, if you can share with us your current bid pipeline, is it possible?
Not possible. Not possible.
Okay. That's all from my side, sir. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you. As this was the last question for today, I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Sahil Sanghvi for closing comments. Mr. Sahil Sanghvi, please go ahead. Your line is unmuted.
Yeah, thank you, Rutuja. We would like to first thank the management for patiently answering all the questions. And on behalf of Monarch Network, I would also like to thank all the participants. Prakash sir, would you like to give any closing comments?
So this is what all what we have answered and what we have told is the most important thing. Company had this two new capex what we did, and now we have to materialize it in time to come. That is because it's a state of art plant, and this is what we have to encash in coming year. And good health and safe life for everyone, because of this is a challenging time for everyone. So we have to take care first of our own health, safety, and then we have to do hard work. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Monarch Networth Capital, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.